Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be talking about a butterfly trade that Nate Bear just placed late last week and just exited in this week. And this week is special because a lot of people that are in Nate Bear's Profit Surge Trader have access to his premium service, which is called Daily Profits Live. So they're getting to see kind of how he's adapting to the market. And a lot of his trades have been struggling over the last couple of weeks just because of the market downturn. But he's like adapting because he's a seasoned trader and he's adapting to the market. And he's starting to place a lot more of the more advanced option trades like spreads and, in this case, a butterfly trade. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit about it and show how the services are evolving. I don't know for sure what he's going to do in Profit Surge Trader, but I highly recommend Profit Surge Trader because it's only $179 for a year. And most of his trades up until the market downturn were hitting really, really nicely. And I expect that winning streak to return. So I'll leave a link in the description below for you to come and sign up for Nate Bear's Profit Surge Trader. In addition to getting access to all his material, I also offer a free Discord service I run, basically where we can talk about his trades, what people are doing. This will be especially helpful if he starts doing more advanced options trades. These trades typically last a few days, but they can sometimes last a little bit longer. And so sometimes it's good to learn from some people that, maybe have a bit more experience with Nate Bear's Profit Surge Trader and this style of trading. So this is my number one buy side options trading service at the moment. And if you just look at the comments or the description below, you'll see that I link to my own personal Discord channel. All you have to do is email me. I always put my email in the descriptions now, and I can get you access to that channel as long as you email me proof of purchase, so that we make sure that everybody in there is actually a paying customer of Nate Bear's Profit Surge Trader. So, that being said, I wanted to do a couple other things before we get into the butterfly trades. In this market where you're getting this long downtrend and then maybe a choppy uptrend for a bit and then potentially continuation to the downside, a lot of people are getting chopped to pieces. And it's something worth looking at is this free course that we have. It's called How to Win 90% of Your Trades in 90 Seconds. These are trades that basically the market can go up a bit, down a bit, sideways a bit within a certain time period, and you can still make some profits. So you don't get chopped up so easily as you would if you're just directional bias. So they're non-directional bias trades. Although generally they're not completely non-directional, they're not neutral. They generally want either the market to go up or down, but you can often get away with it. There's more leeway there, right? So this course is something that somebody would sell for $1,000 sometimes. I've seen this very similar course sell for this sort of price, and this one's completely free. So all you have to do is go to the link in the description below, put in your details, and I'll email you the course. So definitely worth checking that out. The other thing I wanted to mention is Theta Traders. So Lance and I run thetatraders.com, and the type of trade that we're going to talk about today from Nate Bear's Daily Profit Live is going to be somewhat similar to some of the trades that we do in Theta Traders, although there's not a huge focus on butterfly style trades. The sell side is still something that is incorporated inside a butterfly, but also in the selling of naked puts and things as well is included. My favorite is the lifetime inner circle option, which is what I do, and I mainly do the future stuff in here. And so far, basically, it's been amazing. So I think it's one of the best services that is out there, and it's one of the best price services out there for this style of trading as well. So definitely come and check this out. Again, link in the description below, thetatraders.com. So that all being said, with Nate Bear's stuff, definitely go and check that out. Let's talk about what he actually did, and then I'll give you a little introduction to the butterfly trade. In case you're wondering what a call butterfly actually is. Let me show you the trade first. So these are very confusing to new traders, and they're confusing to people like me who also trade the sell side. And so I'm hoping to simplify that for you today and show you a winning trade that he just made in the Daily Profit Live open house that all the Profit Surge Trader people have access to as well. And so this is the style alert that you get, and I've copy pasted them for clarity into PowerPoint here. And so you can see that last week, basically he did this SPY butterfly. So this was on the 19th. So he said he thinks there'll be a bounce next week. Well, this is next week as I'm making this, as he closed them out. And he was right, there was a bounce. So if we go to trading view here, And just quickly give people an update in the market a little bit here as well. So here we go. So you can see we've had quite a bounce on SPX coming down, and then this really nice bounce up here. So around the 19th, he actually got in round about the bottom here, so he called the bottom pretty nicely. And so the butterfly is already massively in profit, which is fantastic, even though we're still a little bit away from expiration. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go through the trade. He said this is a $350 bet that SPY bounces next week. And he was totally right about that. He called the bottom. Willing to double this position if SPY keeps falling. So he did actually add that same day as it was bottoming. And so he said, I'd also like to get some Google calls and sell another Amazon put spread. I actually covered the Amazon put spread yesterday in this similar video. Also worked out well. I think the Google calls also worked out. But outside that, I don't want to take a ton of risk. I think the markets are setting up for a bounce into next week, as we have many big earnings coming up. And he was right. He totally called it. Huge bounce, like I just showed you on TradingView. This is the 1 hour chart, and so you can see this bounce as we come into this week. So pretty exciting that he was able to call that. Not many people can time the market, and it's always something that's kind of controversial, is timing the market, right? So basically he had 10 of these at 0.66, and then just today he started to scale out of these 45%, 60%, all the way down to 90% here on his SPY. 505, 510, 515 call fly. And this is what gets people confused. And so I'm confused by it. I don't trade butterflies, never have, never taken a single one. I have sold options and I bought options before, but this to me is a little bit like, what is going on here? Luckily for me though, inside the command center for the Daily Profit Live service, this is the command center for Daily Profits Live, I am a member, and so I found this lesson on butterflies. It's the very top one, and he says a butterfly spread is a limited risk, limited reward, low volatility advanced option strategy. Here's what you need to know to get started. I'm going to play 3 minutes of this, and it'll teach you everything you need to know about at least everything you need to know to get started on what a butterfly is and what he did on this trade. So I'm going to try and play this for you guys at a slightly accelerated speed, 1.5 speed, just because you can still understand what he's saying, even though it's sped up, and I don't want the whole video to be his stuff. So let's go.
And do all that. But so what is a butterfly? This is a great resource. If you just go to Google, okay, right, you can read more about these. But essentially, a butterfly is a spread that involves selling and buying options at the same time. And the easiest way that I know to show what a butterfly is, what a butterfly looks like, is to show the risk analysis profile for a butterfly. So let's look at AVGO, which is one of the names which we currently have a butterfly. I'm going to pull this up, and I want to show you this. It'll work. I want to show you the risk analysis first.
So this isn't the SPY one that he did. This is just one random ticker, AVGO. I'm pulling this up to look at the profit loss curves with time.
And then we'll go and look at the option chain to show you kind of what it looks like. Okay. So a butterfly, this blue line is our P&L, right? Our profit or loss at expiration. At expiration.
So this is what often confuses people, is this is what you see when you do a butterfly. And on the left here, this is the profit and loss. So you can see on this one, 4,500 would be the maximum profit at the expiration. So this is the expiration date right here. So yeah, that's my understanding of it, at least.
So you can see that on the downside, we have a defined risk. On the upside, we have a defined risk. And where a butterfly really shines is when price can come up and into what's called the body of the butterfly, which is here, towards expiration. So let's get this out of the way. So if we look at this butterfly that we have, this butterfly right here that we have, this is AVGO. We have a May 17th, 1450, 1500, 1550 call butterfly. If I expand this, what you can see is that a butterfly involves 3 different options. You buy an option, you sell twice as many of that of a different option, and then you buy another option. So essentially what the butterfly is doing is it's letting us buy this 1450 call, but instead of paying, let me see, what was that date? May 17th. All right, so the 1450 call for May 17th costs $15, right? So we're buying that we are then selling 2 of the $1,500 calls, and we're buying 1 of the 1,550 calls. Now this works best when price goes to 1499.99, right? Because then our 1450 call goes all the way up to our sold strike. Our sold calls expire worthless, so we get to keep all of the premium from this. We get to keep all of the premium from the 2 options that we sold here on the 1500. And this one is just protection, right? And this one expires worthless. So that is where a butterfly goes to sort of what you would call max profit. Okay.
Hopefully that's clear. You can see that there's 3 legs here. This one plus 2 of these ones and this one. And that's where those numbers come from on here. They're not the same, obviously, but you can see that's where these 3 numbers are on the SPY one as well. So let's keep going.
This is the best strategy that I know of using options when it comes strictly to risk reward. It is a very asymmetric risk reward scenario, meaning that you risk a little to make a lot. Okay. So let's just pretend that we knew. Let's look at the SPX here. All right. I'm just gonna let me see on the SPY. Let's pretend we know it's gonna come up here and close at 508 today. That's about what, 4 points higher.
Well, hopefully it's enough to get you kind of started on butterflies. It helped me a lot to understand why there's only 3 legs. I thought there would be 4 legs, but really there's 3, and the middle one has -2. So you've sold 2 of the middle one. So in this case, I think it would be, and I might be wrong, you guys can correct me, it'd be -2 on this one. So you're selling this one, and it's kind of more complex. So the cool thing is, like, there is a limited defined risk. So in this case it might be $350 bet, which means you might only lose 350 at absolutely max, but the upside could be a lot higher, especially as we get close to expiration. The interesting thing here is we're 3 days from expiration, so we are starting to get into that triangle that he showed, most likely, but we're not quite there yet. So he looks like he's scaling out before expiration. And I was talking to Lance from thetatraders.com. He does these butterflies, or he's done them in the past, and basically he was saying, like, it's actually really hard to hold these to expiration, psychologically as well. So hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully it shows you that this guy, like, he doesn't just buy calls and puts and do the TPS strategy that people know about. He actually does other strategies that are more advanced, and he actually does a really good job of explaining them as well. So I think this is something I'm learning from the Daily Profits Live open house, which has been, see how it says open house schedule here, and this has been, like, quite eye-opening for me, because he wasn't doing this type of trades until recently, until the market took this sort of dive, and then he's like, okay guys, I'm not doing as many of these lottos anymore, just straight calls or straight puts. I'm actually going to start doing these asymmetric trades, and I've become more and more of a fan of these asymmetric trades as time goes on. So while he's still buying calls, for example, like yesterday he did Yum calls, one, and he made 16% on them, and he is still doing some of those high risk lotto calls. He's actually adding in a lot more of these more complex trades, which may put off beginners a little bit. There's a lot of beginners in his services, but I think it's worth learning early on. I regret not learning this style of trading, not as complex as this, but things like selling puts, for example, or selling call options. So pretty interesting stuff. Hopefully it's helpful when it comes to thinking about maybe buying Daily Profits Live. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can more learn about Daily Profits Live, and also I highly recommend signing up for his Profit Surge Trader service. It's been fantastic, and if he starts adapting to add in some maybe a little bit less complex trades that are more suited to this market environment, I think it'll take off again in terms of profits, and people will be really excited about it. So hopefully that this lesson, or quick lesson overview and discussion, has been helpful for you guys, and let's hope the market continues to bounce for the people that are long and are recovering some of their losses here, or making profits by getting in at the bottom. Alright guys, till next time, cheers.